This video is a review of solving systems of equations by graphing and by substitution. Right here in this first one, we have where it has two equations already written in slope-intercept form, so the easiest way to solve this is by graphing. We're going to start with the first one. You're going to plot the y-intercept, which is 2. So I'm going to go up here to 2 and put a dot. The slope now is -4. That's -4/1. It tells me to go down 4 and to the right 1. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right 1 and put a dot. Down 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right 1 and put a dot. Down 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right 1 and put a dot. I can also go up 1, 2, 3, 4 and to the left 1. Up 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left 1. Okay, so now that I have my points, I can draw my line to connect them. Next, you're going to look here on the second one. It starts at -1. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to go down here to -1 and put a dot. The slope in this case is -1/1. Tells me to go down 1 and to the right 1. So I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to start at my y-intercept, down 1 to the right 1. Ding, 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 ding. There they are. There's where they cross. Down 1 to the right 1. Down 1 to the right 1. Down 1 to the right 1. You make sure that you're showing your teachers that you are able to graph. That's one of the standards, is making sure that you can graph these lines. Now, my solution, what I'm looking for is where the two lines intersect. Right here is where they intersect. And that is at the point 1, -2. Right there. Next one. Well, before we can even graph these, we need to solve for y and get them in y= form. Let's see if I can make this graph a little friendlier for our video here. There we go. Okay, the first one I'm going to bring down here and I'm going to put 5x minus 3y equals 12. I need to solve for y, so I need to subtract 5x from each side. -3y equals -5x plus 12. I'm going to divide by -3. Y equals 5/3 x minus 4. Okay, so here is for this one. So let's go ahead and go graph this one. I'm going to start at -4, put a dot. Now my slope is 5/3. It's telling me to go up 5 to the right 3. So here we go. We're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1, 2, 3. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1, 2, 3. I can also go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 1, 2, 3 to the left 3. Now I'm going to graph my line. Okay, so that's that top one. So let me erase this to make some room here because we need to do the second one. All right. Second one, I'm going to solve for y. I'm going to subtract x from each side. I get 3y equals -x plus 6. Then we're going to divide by 3. Y equals -1/3 x plus 2. So here, I'm going to plot at plus 2. My slope now tells me -1/3, which is down 1 to the right 3. Down 1 to the right 1, 2, 3. There we go. We hit it already. Down 1 to the right 1, 2, 3. Down 1 to the right 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to draw my line to connect my dots. Well, here's where the two lines intersect. That solution, let's see, let's get this out of the way here. My solution is 1, 2 over 3 and up 1. 3, 1. Next one. Oh, gee, let me move this up here. There we go. Now we can see it all. Okay, I'm going to plot my y-intercept at +1. This slope tells me to go down 3 to the right 2, down 1, 2, 3 to the right 1, 2, down 1, 2, 3 to the right 1, 2, down 1, 2, 3 to the right 1, 2. I can go backwards and go up 1, 2, 3 to the left 2, up 1, 2, 3 to the left 2. And now I'll draw my line. Next, the next one, it has -4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, we'll put a dot at -4. My slope here is 1. That tells me to go up 1 and to the right 1. So let's go from there. Let's go up 1 to the right 1, put a dot, up 1 to the right 1, ding, 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 up 1 to the right 1, up 1 to the right 1. Okay, we got our enough points for our line. Where the two lines intersect, right here, that right there is 2, 1, 2. So it would be, my solution would be 2, -2. All right, here are the next ones. Let's just start with the first two. It wants to know what are the solutions, and they want you to use your graphing calculator. So we're going to come over here. I'm going to go to y equals. We're going to put into y equals x -8, and in y2, -x -4. Now we can do this one of two ways. Let's try, we can go to the second graph, we can go to the table, and you're looking to try and find where all of y1 and y2 are the same. I see it right here. Whoops. y1 and y2 are both -6. They're the same. So my answer is 2, -6. So when I go to write my solution, it is 2, -6. Now, another way that you can do this is to, after you put them into y1 and y2, press second, the trace button, 5 for intersect. Let the lines graph first before you touch anything else. Make sure you see in the screen the two lines crossing. Then press enter 3 times. Right there, 2, -6. Okay, the next one, we're going to go in here into y equals. Let's put in there 2/3 x, and then in y2, we're going to put in there -x -5, and I'm going to press second graph. Let's look in the table first, see if we see it. Oh, right away I do. Look, -2, -2. So my answer is going to be -3, -2. Well, that was a coinky-dink. -3, -2. Now remember, the other way to do this, go to y equals and put it in there. Go second trace, 5 for intersect. Let the two lines graph first. Press enter 3 times. There it is, -3, -2. Okay, the bottom two, the next two, I mean. There we go. Okay. So let's go in our calculator, go to y equals, and put in there -3x -4. I'm hoping that you would look at those and know that you don't need to put it in the calculator because you already know what it is. Because see, when I press graph, let's look at them. Those two lines are parallel. They're the same. And they have the same slope, they're the same steepness, I should say. And if they're parallel and have the same slope, there is no solution. Well, one reason, a lot of people, when they went to go do this, without looking at the graph, they didn't look at the graph, they just went second, trace, 5 for intersect, and press enter 3 times, and it's going to give you an error. Because there's not, you're looking for the intersection, well, there is no intersection when they're parallel lines. The next one, we'll go in there, and I've got x -5, and then x. Let's go to second graph. Well, wait a minute. Let's look at this. Let's press graph. There's one of them. There's, oh, look. They're parallel lines again, so that means that there is no solution. Okay, let's move on. Here's the next one. It wants us to solve by substitution. Okay, well, let's circle what y equals. We're going to substitute and put that in for y. So I get 3x plus, instead of y, I'm putting 2x in there, equals 10. 3x plus 2x is 5x equals 10. Divide by 5. X equals 2. My solution is 2 and then something. Let's take this equation, rewrite it. Y equals 2x. Y equals 2 times x. X is 2. Well, y equals 4. That's my solution. Next one. Right here, circle what y equals. You're going to substitute and put it in here for y. You get 7x plus 2 times y. Y is 3x plus 9. And that equals 5. Okay, bring the 7x down. Now the 2 is outside the parentheses, so you have to do the distributive property. 2 times 3 is 6. Be very careful. Oh, I even wrote the mistake I was going to tell you. That a lot of people say that it's 5x, but remember, you're multiplying. That's 6x. Then you have 2 times 9, which is 18, and that equals 5. Put your x's together. 13x plus 18 equals 5. Subtract 18 from each side. 13x equals negative 13. Divide by 13. X equals negative 1. So my solution, I have my x number, a negative 1. Okay, let's bring this down to find my y. Y equals 3x plus 9. X is negative 1. You put it right there. I have y equals 3 times negative 1 plus 9. Y equals negative 3 plus 9. Y equals 6. Number 7. Solve the system, but it's got y equals. Circle what y equals. You're going to put it in here for y. You get 7x minus 6 times x minus 1 equals 6. 7x. I've got negative, you got to do the distributive property. Negative 6x. Negative 6 times negative 1 is positive 6, and that equals 6. These two go together. 7 minus 6 is 1x, plus 6 equals 6. Subtract 6 from each side. X equals 0. Well, my solution, 0 and then some number. So let me bring this down. I've got y equals x minus 1. Y equals x is 0 minus 1. Y equals negative 1. Next one. Circle what y equals. We're going to substitute and put it in there for y. So I get 6x minus 6 times negative 2x minus 11 equals negative 24. This 6x just comes down. Then I have this where I'm multiplying it by the distributive property. I have negative 6 times negative 2 plus 12x, negative 6 times negative 11 plus 66 equals negative 24. Put your x's together. That's 18x plus 66, and it equals negative 24. Subtract 66 from each side. 18x equals negative, what is that, 0.90? Divide by 18. X equals, I'm not quite sure. Let's go in here. I bet it's 5, but let's see here. Let's double check. Negative 90 divided by 18. Enter. Negative 5. Yep. All right, so my solution, my x number is negative 5. I don't know my y number yet. So we're going to bring it over. Bring down one of your equations. Y equals negative 2x minus 11. Remember, I'm going to put this negative 5 in here for x. So I get y equals negative 2 times negative 5 minus 11. Y equals 10. Why is that positive 10? Because a negative times a negative is a positive. Minus 11. Y equals negative 1. Number 9. Circle what y equals. Draw your line. We're going to substitute it in here for y. I get negative x minus 5 times y. Y is 4x plus 19 equals negative 11. Negative x comes down here, then I have the distributive property. Negative 20x, and then 5 times 19. Let's see here. Let's go negative 5 times 19. I have negative 95. And that equals negative 11. Negative 21x minus 95 is negative 11. Add 95 to each side. Negative 21x equals 84. Divide by negative 21. X equals negative 4. So my solution, my x number is negative 4. Well, let's bring down the y. I have y equals 4x plus 19. I'm going to put negative 4 in there. Y equals 4 times negative 4 plus 19. Y equals negative 16 plus 19. Y equals 3. There's my solution to number 9. Here's my next one. Circle what x equals. Let's substitute it in here for x. I get y minus 3. Now write the rest of the equation. Plus y equals 7. What do you do from here? Put your y's together. 2y minus 3 equals 7. Add 3 to each side. 2y equals 10. Divide by 2. Y equals 10. Well, y is 10, so now we need to find our x. Bring this up here. X equals y minus 3. X equals 10 minus 3. X equals 7. There's your solution to number 10. Number 11. Circle what x equals. Substitute it in here for x. I have 3 times x. X is y plus 2 minus 4y equals 2. Do the distributive property. You get 3y plus 6 minus 4y equals 2. Put your y's together. Negative 1y plus 6 equals 2. Subtract 6 from each side. Negative 1y equals negative 4. Divide by negative 1. Y equals 4. Okay, so now x equals y plus 2. Y is 4. X equals 4 plus 2. X equals 6. Oops, I didn't mean to hit that button. Okay, this one says, draw an example of a graph showing the following solutions. What do they look like when there is no solution? Well, if there's no solution, they're going to be two parallel lines. So they're not going to touch. Now, if there's infinitely many solutions, that means that on my graph, all I'm going to do is see one line, because the two lines would be on top of each other. Let's see if I can somehow figure out how to put a line on top of that. Can you see that? It'd be like if I graph those two lines right there on top of each other. Okay? And if there was one solution, well, let me get my graph here. If there was one, oh, I don't want to do that. If there was one solution, I'd have one line. I'd have another line, and they would intersect. And the solution would be where the two lines intersect, which would be right there in this example. The next one, it says, enter the system of equations in calculator. Write down at least 4 rows of the table, and including the row that shows the solution. And circle the row that shows the solution. Okay, so I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go to y equals. Put in there negative 2x plus 7. And down here, I'm going to put in there 1/2 x minus 3. Second graph, let's find the solution. Well, heckers, let's see here. I'm going to go second trace, 5 for intersect, because I don't want to go looking. And enter 3 times. All right, it says 4, -1, so that'll tell me where to look now. Okay, oh, there it is, silly me. All right, so they want you to write down this table. So I'm going to, let's see here. All right, I'll bring the calculator back up in just a second. So we're going to make a table. Let's see here. All right, so I've got y1 and y2. So now my calculator, I know that my solution is 4, -1. So let's see. 4, -1, -1. Let's see. So I've got 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's see. 3 is 1 and -1.5. And -3 and -0.5 was 6. -5 and 0. And then they wanted you to circle the row that has the solution. There it is right there. My solution would be 4, -1. You're looking to see where y1 and y2 are the same. Okay, the Navy is running submarine drills, and they give you all this information. They give you a table. It says label the line with the correct submachine. Well, first off, let's figure this out. Submarine A is 500 feet from the bottom. Okay, so A is going to start, I've got y equals 500 and is ascending, that means going up, 15 feet per minute. Now submarine B is 2,500 feet from the bottom and is descending, going down 10 feet per minute. So let's see if we can figure out which one is what here. Now, which one is going down? All right, I've got submarine B going down. Okay, so this one would be submarine B because it's going down. Submarine A is going up. So this line in the blue would actually be submarine A. Write an equation. Okay, and we just did that actually, didn't we? Y equals, what was that? 500 plus, let's go back up here and look. 15x. And then I had y equals 2,500 minus 10x. Then they said, what is the solution? The solution is this point right here, which is 80 and, let's see something, 80 and, let's try and read this, going over 15, 16, 1,700. All right, so let me see if I can drag this down here. Oh, the point's going to come with me, but that's okay. Moving on up. No, just kidding. Okay, here we go. All right. I guess we're moving on down, aren't we? All right, well, what does that mean? That means that in 80 minutes, both submarines will be at 1,700 feet. Is that above the bottom? What did it say it was talking about? From the bottom of the ocean. From the bottom of the ocean. Make sure when you're answering this that you're putting exactly what it means, not saying that's where the two lines intersect, or saying that's where both the submarines will be at the same height at the same time. Tell what the exact numbers mean. Okay, here's the next one. Table at the right shows two-order pairs from the functions. What is the solution and what does the solution represent? Well, first off, let's highlight what is the solution. Oh, let me find my highlighter here. My solution is right here. How do I know that this is where I'm looking? That is correct because y1 equals y2 right there. My solution is 3, 4. Now, what is this talking about? It talks about x being the number of weeks. So in 3 weeks, the amount in the account. So they both have $4. So it means in 3 weeks, both have $4. Here's number 18. It says, do not solve. Be careful. You'll be wasting your time if you're solving. They want to know graphing or substitution, which is the way that these are set up that they can do it the fastest or that they're set up for the easiest. You are always going to use graphing when they were in y equals form because the only way you can put them in the calculator is if they are graphing or if they are in y. Let me slow down. The only way that you can put them in the calculator is if they are in y equals form, if they're in slope-intercept form. Now this other one, because one of the equations is in y equals or x equals, that is substitution because we would be putting this in here for y. Number 19 says Mike is buying music online to download. He is considering 2 different online companies, Music R Us and Downloads. All right, well, what are we looking for? It says that we're going to pay $1 for each song and a $10 membership fee. $1 for each song. So X is going to be the number of songs. What's the end result after we decide how many songs we want to download? Well, it's going to be our total cost. Let me move this up here. Let's see if I can move some of this up. Write an appropriate system. Okay, well, y equals, let's start for Music R Us. $1 for each song plus a $10 membership fee. The second one, y equals, it's $1.50 for each song plus an $8 membership. Then you can put this in the calculator and find out how many songs that you could get where it would cost the same for both companies. So what I mean is this. Go in here into your calculator. Let's go figure out where these two lines intersect. Let's find the solution to this. So I'm going to go in here of x. Oh, let's go back up. Okay. So I'm going to have x plus 10, because remember 1x and x is the same thing, and 150 x plus 10 or plus 8. Second, trace, 5 for intersect. I don't know if they're going to, I may have to do something special because I don't think they're going to intersect here. So I press enter 3 times. Oh, it does tell me. It is 4 and 14. So right here, I have 4 and 14. What does that mean? Well, 4 is the number of songs. 14 is the y. Remember x, then y. And so this is your total cost. It means that 4 songs, 4 downloaded songs, will cost $14.